Hi, everybody. Mary Brown here from the Mystical Musings show. We're getting ready to start the show on Blog Talk Radio, our psychic talk radio channel. And we're just experimenting with different ways to go live, to simulcast our shows. And so I thought I'd pop in here and start the live a little bit early to let you know what we're doing. You're not going to be able to hear the feed from Blog Talk, but I will be, so you won't hear the calls or anything either, but I'll try to explain what's happening on the other side. I'll try to explain the calls and stuff as they come in. And we are, I'm just listening to the countdown right now, we are about 8 minutes away from this show starting. And so you can listen, you can watch the live feed here on our Facebook group, Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group, obviously. If you're seeing this, I guess you're probably there. And from there, we're going to do the Mystical Musings show today because it's the first Saturday of every month. And my headphone is kind of caught up in my hair, so I'm kind of rearranging that so I can kind of hear a little better. But that's 6 minutes till showtime. 6 minutes to showtime. So I'm looking here to make sure I can see everything going on. I can't really. Just figuring this out. You know, we're figuring out different ways to do this, to see how it works, etc. And we can invite people. I don't know. I actually have never done just a Facebook Live before, so we'll see how this even goes for me. And the decks I'm going to be doing readings with for callers into the show today, or if you want to make a comment here on the live feed, I can take comments from there as well. And you know, if you want a reading, I can do that. If you want to share the live and like this post, then you can get a free mini reading, or I'll probably just give you one anyways, because how in the world am I going to keep track of all of that? I don't know. We were going to do this using a different platform, but that platform, we're still working the kinks out. But one of the decks I'm going to be using is the fairly new Influence of the Angels Tarot deck by Jody Boginska Barbesi. This is a U.S. Games deck. You can see the little U.S. Games dude there. And some of the Oracle decks, too, that I have. Spirit of the Animals Oracle by Jody Barricksma. Beautiful deck that I really like. And also the Sufi Wisdom Oracle deck by Rasuli that I did a recent video of. So anybody on Facebook, if you want a reading from one of those specific decks, it's either Sufi Wisdom, Spirit of the Animal Oracle deck, or just a tarot reading using the Influence of the Angels deck, you can request that too. So we're going to be talking about spirit guides today on the show, so you'll be able to hear most of that. The only thing I think you really won't hear is like the Blog Talk music and the Blog Talk callers, that kind of stuff, but I'll kind of tell you what's going on with that. We'll see how this works. I have no idea how it's going to work. I hope it's okay, makes sense and enjoyable, or at least slightly interesting. That's what I'm you know, aiming for, slightly interesting. So I'm gonna go over here. We're just a couple minutes away from the show starting, and we got 3 minutes to go before showtime with the Blog Talk Radio show. I see Sony Adi, or Ade, hi, yay, can you hear okay and stuff? Like I said, this is a little bit of a test for us, so I hope everybody can hear me okay, and that can see me all right too. It's kind of funny because I haven't done this before, and I didn't realize it like blows up like the whole screen, and so I'm just getting a feel for where everything is. But okay, the comments are there. I don't know. Got my rattles. Hopefully rattle in some positive energy. And these are, okay, I think we're good. Got my little halite angel Always have to have my highlight angel. Oh, Sony says, yes, you can hear. Terrific. Thank you. I'm so glad because I don't, Dax and I have been like kind of doing different things, trying to test this out and make sure, camera, mic, and everything was working. And everything was working until just a few minutes before the show starts. 2 minutes till showtime. Let me see. Like I said, we're going to be talking about spirit guides and also taking calls from Blog Talk. Wow, as they come in. So if anybody does want to be on the air, you can call in to the show. The call-in number is 714-816-4628 if you want to call in to be live on the Blog Talk radio show. And like I said, you can also post a comment in the comments thread on this post on Facebook too. So there are two ways to get readings, and kind of trying to do a little bit different things for the Blog Talk audience. Well, actually kind of doing the same thing we always do for the Blog Talk audience, and trying to do something a little bit different for our Facebook group. So we have 1 minute to showtime here, and then I'll intro the show. You won't hear the music in the beginning, like I said, and you won't hear the callers, but I'll try and keep you abreast of what's going on. So getting ready to start the show here. All right. Oh my gosh, we got a whole bunch of callers too. So wow. So I don't know. We'll see how this works. I hope it works well. I can't tell what happens. Oh, I see Dax is there. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Sony. Hi, Dax. Great. Somebody found it. We weren't able to really, blast it out to promote this. And so, because what we were doing, the way we were going to do it initially, that kind of, didn't work as well. So we didn't have a chance. Show's going live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mystical Musings Show with Mary Brown. I am that Mary Brown, and I'm so excited to have you all today to join me. We're going to talk about spirit guides, which is a topic. It's one of my favorite topics, and for some reason, I've been seeing a lot of synchronicities with the topic of spirit guides. A lot of different Facebook groups that I'm in, people are talking, especially right now. I don't know why, it was something in the air, but they're talking about spirit guides. They're asking a lot of different questions about them. Who can be a spirit guide? What is a spirit guide? And so I thought, hey, let's talk about that. And I can just, I don't claim to be an expert on it. I don't claim to be an expert on anything spiritual, because I kind of feel like, how do we know, right? How do we know that we know everything completely, and that it's just the way that we perceive it? I think that's kind of impossible, right? I think that's why we have so many different religions and so many different ideas out there. And so we're just going to just kind of, kick around a few of the ideas that I have come across. And, I'd love to hear from anybody who would like to call into the show to share. And then something else that we're also doing a Facebook Live on the Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group while we're doing the show today. So for our listeners on Blog Talk, if you want to also go over and watch the kind of simulcast that we're doing here on our Facebook group, that might be fun too. And for our Facebook listeners, you won't be able to hear what the callers on Blog Talk Radio are saying, but I will kind of, tell you who's calling and what their question is, and, pull some cards on it. And for our Facebook Live viewers, listeners, watchers, whatever, They're called. If you want a free mini reading as well, you can just, pop your question into the comments on the live here on the Psychic Talk Radio Facebook group. Okay, so let me just take a look real quick at our phone lines on Blog Talk. Okay, we've got a bunch of callers there, and I will be taking those calls in a few minutes. I think we'll pop back and forth with the topic, and then I'll take them in the order that they come. So the first call that will be up is area code 310, and I will be coming to you in just a few minutes. Okay, and remember, if you call in and want to get a reading, you have to press 1 on your dial pad. That lets me know that you're in the queue. It kind of is like raising your hand. And if you just want to call in and listen on your phone to the show but don't want to be on the air, then don't do that. Don't press 1. Okay, so let's talk about this idea of spirit guides. What are they? What can they be, right? And there's a lot of different ideas out there of exactly, what spirit guides are. To me, it's a very general term, and it encompasses like everything, including angels, including animal totems. Totems, we can call them. I like to think of them as animal spirit helpers. It can include nature spirits. It can include devas associated with devas are kind of like they're similar to angels, but they're more connected to nature. So when you think of crystals, each crystal has a deva connected to it, kind of like our guardian angels in a sense, for people. And then there's all kinds of other things too. There's human guides, people that once lived but have passed on. When we talk about things like ascended masters and master teachers and a lot of these different terms that we have, to describe out of the ordinary contact, right? Out of the ordinary information. And, it's like there's people that get really into the whole idea and have for centuries. When you think of like Thomas Aquinas, or just look at angels and you think of Thomas Aquinas's work, or Helena Bingham, you've got hierarchies built up. You've got level after level of different kinds of angels. You have names of angels, all this different stuff. And we do that with spirit guides too. I think Theosophy in particular got into the whole ascended master thing, and then spiritualism later on started defining like, oh well, you could have a spirit doctor. You could have a spirit doctor who specializes in body chemistry. It just it's like I think it's interesting. I think it's a fascinating exercise. I'm just looking here at the chat room on the Facebook Live. Hello, everybody. Hi, Jason. I am live. That's how I'm talking to you. Sharona. Hi, Sharona. Hi, Cecil. Cecil says, can I have a reading, please? Yes. Cecil, just pop your question into the comment thread there, and I will get to you. But the first thing I'm going to do is take our first call, since they've already been waiting on the air, to get on the air. And that is for our callers calling into Blog Talk. And so let's go ahead and take the first call, and then we'll start getting more into this whole thing. So that is area code 310. Caller, are you there? Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, see. All right. What did you want to talk about today, Susan? It's Susan from Oklahoma City for our Facebook Live listeners. Go ahead. Mm. Okay, so Susan from Oklahoma City wants to know, does it look like she's going to be able to get a new job soon? Okay, so let me just pull some cards on that and see what that looks like and see if we can kind of determine how soon is soon, too. Sometimes timing, is pretty apparent, and other times, it's not as clear, so I don't try to push it, if it's not there. Getting a new job soon. Absolutely. Um, mm, mm, mm. Getting a new job soon, like end of October soon. Are you putting yourself out there? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Because I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a wait. There's something about a big shift happening in October for you. But like the end of the month. But this is kind of a good thing. And I feel like we're talking about maybe there's like two different ways to go with this, you know, um, as far as like what new job. So I don't know if that's two different opportunities coming in. It looks like one of them is really connected. We get two aces here. One of them with the Ace of Cups is like it's really connected to like, your heart. What do you want to do? What is in your heart to do if you're going to make some changes. The other thing here too that comes up is the World card. That's kind of interesting because to me, the World card, has that idea of like being connected to the world, doing something that maybe, even like communications of some type, so that could be, being like, you know, somebody who is going to be like always talking to people, that kind of thing. Public, something like customer service even, kind of fits the World card to me. But yeah, I feel it looks good. I feel like there's just a little bit of a wait. I feel like there's a shift coming the end of October for you. And this Ace of Cups is really what's getting my attention. I'm going to show that to our Facebook people. It's such a beautiful card coming from the influence of the Angels Tarot. But that to me is like, aces to me represent opportunities, but it's also like, oh, it's a thing that like, you're like, I would love to do that kind of feel to it. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling. You take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye. All right. So that was terrific. Our first call from Oklahoma City. All right. So let me look at this Facebook Live thing. Okay, people. Where's it? Can I have a reading, please? Connor says, hi, Mom. Hi, Connor. And Sony would like a reading, too. So who was it first? It was Cecil first. Cecil, did you have a specific question, or did you want me to just pull a card for you? Let's see. I can't tell. Okay. You know what? I am going to. Hmm. I've never done these lives before. I'll tell you what. For our uh, Facebook lives, I'm not seeing. Oh wait. Okay, I have to scroll down. Okay, there it is. Cecil says, any love interest for me? Hi, Jean Maury. Yay! I'm so glad Jean Maury's there. Any love interest for me for Cecil on Facebook, and then we'll go to our topic again, and then we'll go to some more calls on Blog Talk. Let's pull a card for Cecil. Any love interest for me? Wow. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Okay, Cecil, I'm gonna say yes to that. Look, it feels to me, here's the cards that come up. We've got the Hermit in the past position. Okay, not big on the love interest, right? Generally, the Hermit card. I'm trying to see how to show this card without getting such a glare. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a Hermit. It came up in the past position. what comes up in the present is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay. And then right after that, Two of Cups. Now, if you could see that, Two of Cups. Oh, I have a big glare. So that looks like a big yes to me for love interest coming up. But a couple of things I want to mention here. Overlooking everything else is the Five of Wands. Conflict, competition, that kind of thing, too many voices, that kind of stuff going on with the Five of Wands, right? So I think love interest can definitely happen for you, but I feel like we got to work through a little bit first. And underneath that Queen of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords, to me, a lot of times that card is either about interference or it can even be about avoidance. And so what I feel like this is saying is it's more about interference, like make that your priority. If that is what's really important to you, is the aspect of your life that is focused on love, then I feel like, let the distractions go, don't let, because the Eight of Swords, swords are the mental energy, right? So those things are happening in our mind, so I feel like embrace the moment, I also feel like, we're talking like this should happen in the next couple months for you. And so, like, don't overthink it, that's the thing with the Eight of Swords, is like in the classical Rider Waite depiction, she's got the blindfold on and she can't see the forest for the trees. She can't see her way out. And all she has to do is kind of open her eyes, take the blindfold out, walk through those swords, and you're free. So I feel like it's saying, like, just, don't talk yourself out of it when the opportunity comes. So I hope that is helpful to you, Cecil. And then, let's see, I'm going to scroll down here a little bit more. Sony wanted just a general reading, which is terrific, because it's great for the Facebook Live. I'm just reshuffling the cards here really quick. Let's try one of these new decks, right? The Sufi Wisdom Oracle deck here, to pull a card for Sony. This is a new deck by Rasuli. I love these cards. I have found them to be really kind of amazing lately, but let's just see what comes up. It's just a general reading for Sony. Sorry, I have to slow the energy down just a little bit to get the... That's weird. I got this buzz like right in my... Like somebody just flew past my ear. It's a strange thing to share on these Facebook Lives, right? Obviously, I haven't done this. I'm going to just say weird stuff because weird stuff happens. But here it is, and you decide what this really means to you, Sony. But this is a card that comes up. Make friends. Friendship is the alchemy of success. And we've got the beautiful artwork by Rasuli. And so this is how I would look at it, Sony, this card for you. So make friends. Friendship is the alchemy of success. What does that mean to you? Is there something that you're trying to achieve that, you could use maybe a friend that, could be helpful, to you achieving it? That's something to think about. So anyways, I hope that, I hope you liked your card. And I love this deck. And thank you so much for the question. It's so much fun to do this. I haven't done this before, but this is fun. I'm having fun. Okay, so let's go back to our blog talk callers there. Let's see who the next one in line is. And at some point, I'm going to talk more about spirit guides. And that is area code 914. Area code 914, caller, are you there? You're welcome. What's your name? It's Kata? Catherine. Got it. And where are you calling from, Catherine? Oh, Catherine from New York. Okay, and what did you want to just talk about spirit guides, or did you want a mini reading? What can I do for you? Go for it. Hmm. B or D? Oh, D as in David. So S or D, you're wondering which is more likely to collaborate with. This is Catherine from New York. I'm letting my Facebook audience know. She's calling about a situation at work, a couple of colleagues that she would kind of like to collaborate with. And S or D, you want to know which is more likely, which is kind of the better person to try to collaborate with. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to use my trusty tarot cards here and do a side-by-side reading and just see which comes out stronger for you, which seems like a better collaboration, more likely, etc. Okay. So, oh, you're welcome. SD. Wow. Okay. I mean, this is so clear. I don't know why this is though. Maybe you can shed some light on that. But when I look at your colleague that you're designating with the letter S, yeah, no. I mean, it feels like maybe they have some stuff going on with them, but it just feels like that's really problematic. And then when we look at D, D for some reason, yeah, Eight of Cups comes up, the Three of Swords comes up, the Five of Cups ultimately is saying like we're kind of let down. Five of Cups can be like an emotional letdown, disappointment. I feel like, that's not the route to go. Now, when we look at D, we get the World card, we get the Queen of Wands, we get, oddly enough, though, we do get the Five of Pentacles at the end of that. So on this thing that you want to collaborate, what's the deal with money on it? Is it going to require, funds being set aside to do this? If anything, with D looks like to be the stronger collaborator, and also that like the money issue is going to need to be resolved. Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah, and so, well, maybe that's it because that's somebody that can address the issue too. That's so, yeah, but D's the stronger one out of those two. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for calling. You have a good weekend. Bye-bye. Oh, thanks. Bye-bye. Whew. Okay, two great calls there. So before for my blog talk listeners, people hanging on the line there in the caller queue, I am going to be getting to you. I wanted to, and anybody on, I guess I need to scroll down again on the Facebook thing. We've got, what, got one question in there. I will get to that too. Sandy HAB. You know what? Let me just do Sandy's right now because I'm not used to the scrolling thing. So I don't want to lose a question. But Sandy from Facebook is saying, hi, I'd like to ask if I should ask. I'd like to ask if I should ask for a transfer to another department at my temporary job, please. One of my supervisors vented her anger on me, and they have unfairly given me a workload more than other colleagues. Thanks. So should you ask for another, for what? Let me go back to the, should you ask for a transfer to another department? Should you ask for a transfer? Okay, well, let's look at this. Actually, I'm going to go with another deck entirely. Let's ask the angels about this because I can totally relate to the feeling when you're, treated badly, and then, they vent their anger, and then they give you a more of a workload than your other. You get the feeling like they're trying to get rid of you or trying to punish you. So let's take a look at this. Is it in your best interest to ask for a transfer? And I feel like the choice to do that, I feel like give it a little time before we make that. What comes up here, and this is from the gosh, what deck is this? It's like one of my go-tos. It's Angels of Light Oracle deck by Ambica Waters. I think that's how you say her name. But this is the first thing that comes up, is the Angel of Inner Strength. Okay, it's the first card that comes up on this, Sandy. And I feel like what this is saying is like, okay, we don't need to make any sudden changes right now, but yeah, you're going to have to tap into that well of inner strength that you have. You have that within you, okay? And then what we have behind this too is the Angel of Health, okay? And I feel like the Angel of Health is saying like, okay, when we get that kind of negative energy coming at us, when somebody's venting their anger on us, when you think of that push, right, you feel like you're attacked, and it does affect you physically. So, I feel like it's saying like, okay, we need to do some self-care. We need to Epsom salt bath, something, walk in the grass, something to cleanse that negativity that you just got unloaded on you, okay? Because the stress of what you're experiencing with now having this bigger workload and all of that is, Angel of Health coming up, I feel like it's saying like, okay, you need to kind of find a way to wash that away, whisk it off, right? And there's a lot of different ways to do that, but basically whatever the way is for you that makes you feel like better, that's what it's about. And then in the future position, this is why I say, like, don't do anything right this minute, take a step back from it. We have the Angel of Choice. So we never want to really find ourselves in a position where we feel like where we're backed against the wall and that we've just got to like react, we want to get ourselves in a position where the choices that we're making, if we're making choices to change, to transfer, to whatever, that they're more our choices and not ones that we feel forced into or pushed into. So I would say, yeah, maybe a transfer is a good idea, but I don't think it's a good idea as an immediate reaction to what is just going on right now. So I feel like give it a little more time, see if cooler heads prevail, see if anything kind of, settles down to the point where, you still want to be there or not. And also make, changes like that, like a transfer, taking into account, is this transfer going to involve things that are going to make it harder for you? Is that going to involve a commute? Is that going to, weigh it a bit, the pros and cons of it? But, I'm so sorry that happened to you. And, let's try to take some of that negative stuff that got vented on you. Let's kind of clear this away, just let the rattle shake loose the debris of somebody venting on you, and somebody adding all that extra workload to you. Who the heck do they think they are? You don't deserve that. You're a beautiful soul, and you deserve to be treated with love and respect. So, okay, Sandy, I hope that's helpful to you. All right, so I guess we'll take another call before, the Blog Talk audience is like, where are we? And there's so many of them. And look, if I don't, because let me check the time here, we're halfway through the show right now. If I don't get to all of the callers, remember that we have several shows during the week, and maybe I should talk about upcoming shows actually real quick, you know, where most of them are call-in shows, and you can call in and get a reading if I didn't get to you today. So let me go over what those upcoming shows are real quick while we are talking about it. Let's see here. I actually have it written down here. So, okay, tomorrow is Sunday, October 6th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. The Angelic Realm Show returns. They're going to be talking about number symbology and the Bible with your host, Maria G. Moss, and her guest co-host, Cindy Froy Burns. So that'll be tomorrow. And then on Monday, it's a double feature. We have at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Janice Fuchs, the Wisdom of Your Soul show is going to be live, and it'll be your once a month opportunity to chat with Janice, ask questions, get guidance live on the air. And then later on Monday, at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, is a Compassionate Light Healing and Guidance show with your host, Catherine Hahn. She's going to be talking about understanding who you are and what you're here to do. That would be good to know, right? For most of us. And then on Tuesday, October 8th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to have the Power of Three show with host psychic medium Rose Fullhurst and paranormal investigator Dave Nunley, and they're going to be talking about cryptids, Yeti, Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, etc. It's like I just saw an episode about all of that on Ancient Aliens. So if you're an Ancient Alien fan like me, you might really dig this show on Tuesday with Rose and Dave. And then on Friday, October 11th, it's going to be open lines at 11 a.m., 2 p.m. Eastern. Open lines and many readings the doctors are in. And that'll be with Dr. Dax Carlisle, Dr. Sharona, and Dr. Rose. And then I'll be back Saturday just doing open lines and mini readings with Dax Carlisle on the Psychic Saturday show, which is at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. So there you go. There's the upcoming shows. Yikes. I'm like, dropping things. Sorry. And let's go take another call here. And I swear I'm going to be talking about spirit guides pretty soon here. So this is, next call is area code 334. Area code 334. Are you there? Hi, what's your name and where are you calling from? Kira from Alabama. What can I do for you, Kira? Did you want to talk about spirit guides? Did you want a mini reading? What's up? A mini reading? Do we see new love coming in? Okay. All right, let's take a look at that. Maybe using a tarot deck here, the influence of the Angels tarot deck, and let's see what comes in under the question of, like, do we see new love coming in for Kira from Alabama? All right. Got the Queen of Cups right at the center there. 6 of Pentacles. It's nice. It's nice. 10 of Pentacles. Oh, we got some nice cards here. Okay. New love coming in. It's really kind of interesting to me because I feel like this is a weird thing to say, right? But, you know, I have the 4 cups in the past position. You know, was there, is there somebody that, like, kind of maybe wanted to get something started with you and you just weren't interested or wasn't thinking about it or didn't think of that person in that way? That kind of thing. Go ahead. Right, right. Because you feel that draw from that person then? Wow. Oh, wow. Hmm. Right. Right. Well, because I kind of feel like there's still some things to deal with there, you know? Um, it's kind of interesting because I feel like it's pointing us back to that. But the good news is this, we end with the Six of Pentacles. And to me, um, that is a great card to come up because it's like it's got this energy of like generosity, and giving and kindness to it. Um, and I feel like, as far as, your love life is happening, I feel like, the things are going to be shifting for that. The one card that kind of does concern me a little bit, and it's not a big thing, it's just something to keep in mind, is underlying this Queen of Cups that I feel like is representing you. Queen of Cups there. The card below it is the Nine of Swords. Okay. And so, what that card is about sometimes is like we can get too in our head. We can feel like, we sometimes it's a card of sadness, of depression, of like worrying too much, of like tossing and turning. You have that kind of energy with it. So I feel like if you stay in the energy of your heart and being able to accept the kindnesses being offered to you. Now, I feel like you're going to know when the person is the person that you want to hook up with, basically, because I feel like it's about somebody who's going to be giving, somebody who's going to be generous and show you some kindness. And it's just, I think that Nine of Swords underneath everything is just saying, like, don't let all the concerns, so any like baggage from the past, we've got to like recognize, that we've got to kind of leave it in the past. Does that make sense? Great. Great. Well, mm, I, you know within the next 6 months, that would be the time frame I would see it in. It could be any time within that time frame. I think that the main thing about it was just like being opening to receive. you know okay. All right, thanks for calling, Kira. Thank you. You have a good weekend. Okay. Bye bye. All right, so coming back over here, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, Sandy. Yeah. I don't blame you for not feeling like I'm feeling like not working there anymore. Who in the right mind would, right? Okay, so let's talk a little bit more. We have some time left in the show, and I will get back to calls here in a few minutes. But there's a few things I wanted to say about the spirit guide thing. Okay, first of all, they can come in it's limitless almost of what a spirit guide can be. Not just an animal, not just an angel, not just a person. Somebody on one of the groups I'm in was talking about, can a Catholic saint be a spirit guide? And yes, of course, a Catholic saint can, and that probably happens. I would think more for Catholics maybe, but and I think that kind of, you can go further with that and look at any of the saints or venerated people or special people that are connected to your belief systems. Yeah, that can happen, and they're not going to be just your spirit guide. And I don't really believe in that idea of like, this is my guide, my special guide. I feel that like people are they can be possessive. They can be possessive about spirit guides, which is so kind of a funny thing to say, really, but we won't get into that. But the other thing too that I want to say about them, and this is different, is like sometimes it's like just an energy, and this can be an energy of an idea. I remember, you know, years ago, I had a wonderful guest on one of the radio shows I was doing, and he had written this great book, you know, and he's somebody who's like an animal communicator, among other things. And he had talked about his first experience with a guide, and the guide was like a form of energy that told him that it was compassion. Okay, so there's a concept, acting as a guide and giving him messages and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's not necessarily a guide limited to the body. Sometimes it is a big idea. And, you know, the thing that's interesting is like, so Jesus, right? Jesus. Jesus is a good example, right? You know, because it's like Jesus is like this person that used to live, you know, pretty much most scholars agree that, you know, there was a historical Jesus, so walked the earth, you know, everything after that they don't agree on. But so here's this person, but then you have millions and millions of people through, you know, thousands of years, you know, over 2,000 years of talking about this person, you know, religions forming in this person's name, and the idea just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, we talk about this idea of thoughts or things, right? You know, and I think that things like, you know, the different, you know, energies, that if you have so many people like putting their mind on it and talking about it and doing you know, doing all these different things, I think that that energy can accumulate. Now, you know, in the case of Jesus, I think that energy accumulates and makes that like even a bigger energy for people to connect to, maybe a bigger guide, maybe, you know, a God for some people. And at the same time, something like compassion, all these different, you know, concepts that like really get, you know, a lot of energy thrown at them. People are thinking about them. People are talking about it. People are putting it out there. I think they can accumulate and have a form to it. So that's something else to think about, because the guide can come from that as well. Okay, so there's just, you know, so many of these different ways that we can look at guides, and, you know, but like, let's get to it. So how do we know our guides are talking to us? You know, how does that happen? And that can happen in a number of ways. You know, guides they might reveal themselves to you through a symbol. You know, suddenly you see a symbol. You could see a symbol in your mind's eye during meditation or in a dream state, or just come across it and then have it repeat. Sometimes repeating symbols, repeating numbers, repeating images, colors, scents, are signals that we're having that contact or that connection from a spirit guide. You know, and then once we take it a step further and we acknowledge that sign or that contact, then, you know, what happens? Well, oftentimes the very first thing that happens, because we're human beings, we want to know, like, what's your name? You know, can we know the name of our guides? Will they give us a name? And some will give you a name, some will not give you a name. And usually it's a name you can relate to. It's not going to be one that you don't understand necessarily. But the other thing is it may not be the true name of the guide, and that's okay. It's their way of relating to you. And we see that a lot with angels. We have a lot of angels that have a lot of different names associated with them. I think a great example of that is like Archangel Raphael is a great example. If you look in the what is it called, the pseudoepigrapha, the book of Tobit, in the it's an extra canonical book. There you have the story of Raphael, and he comes down and, you know, shows himself as a person, and, you know, really acts as a guide, you know, in the life of this person, Tobit and Tobias is what this family is what the book is about. And so he gives him another name. He doesn't say, hey, I'm Archangel Raphael, I'm here to help. Instead, he gives them a different name. So you have angels that have all these different names associated with them. And you may get a name from your guide that is easy for you to pronounce, easy for you to remember, has some meaning for you. But that doesn't mean that's the only name that that guide goes by, or that that's the true name. And really, it doesn't matter. It's all about being able to relate and get help. And one thing else that I want to say here before I start taking more calls is that you control your work with your guide, okay? You don't have to tolerate rudeness in life from other people, and you don't have to tolerate that in spiritual contact either. So if you ever feel like, you're getting messages from an energy, potential spirit guide, and you don't like what they have to say, you don't like the way it makes you feel, you can say, I'm not interested, and not, don't bother me, dismiss them, So, know that this isn't something where you're just at the mercy of the spiritual realm, okay? You're not, and that's the other thing, a lot of times I'll see people saying like, well, my guide told me I have to do this. It's like, really? Told you have to do it, um, test it. Test the spirits, right? That's what we always say. And I wanted to give you, just a few ways to do that. So how do we test the spirit contact that we have, to know that these guides are for real, and that they're, beings that we want to have contact with, and first off, know that guides expect that. They expect you to do the testing. They're not going to be offended by it, and it's absolutely something you should do. So one way to do that is to ask for specific messages about yourself, info that you can use. Ask for information that you could verify within like a week to 10 days, a short time frame where you can see like, okay, this is authentic. They were right about that. You make it something really simple, like, what's going to happen to me, next Friday at work. It just is something simple that you can verify within a short period of time. And then another way to do it, and I feel like, if you have somebody in your life that would be cool with it, then that's good. So you can ask for messages to give to your friends, and then ask them later on, well, did that happen for you? Does that bear out or not? So if you have a friend that, you can talk to about this and say like, hey, it's like I have this guide who's trying to connect with me, and I just want to know if they're for real. And so can I ask them for a message for you? And then maybe you could tell me what happens, that kind of thing. That's another way to do it. You could also ask for like simple favors, like help me find a parking spot. It's just simple little things. Any of these like little measures that you can take to test who is exactly connecting with you, if they're the type that you really do want to connect with, and things that you can verify. And look, that's a thing is, our spirit guides are willing to help us, but they're not going to do everything for you. It's like they can open the door, but you're going to still have to walk through. And so it's not about substituting, it's not about substituting spirit guide contact for, living your life. It can add to it. It's always about you in the here and now, what you need to know, what can help you, what's going to add to it. It's not about going way up there into the spiritual realm and not returning down to earth. So, who was a Casey Kasem, I think, who used to say, reach for the stars, but keep your feet on the ground. I think that applies here too. And, there's a lot of different, there's a lot of different ways you can approach this. It's like for some people, it's like they don't, they find that they're having difficulty, you know, they really want to connect with their spirit guides. They want to know more about it, and they're having difficulty doing it. So there's a lot of different ways you can do that. You can do it through meditation. Shamanic journeying works for a lot of people that maybe meditation doesn't work for. You can just kind of set aside a time every day or every week, whatever really works for you, to connect with your guide. You know, that, you know, put that out there. I'm open, and I would like to connect with my spirit guides or with my angels. You know, light a candle, you know, for them. You know, just set aside like 15 minutes a week or something like that, where it's like, I'm open and I'm here and I'm listening, and I would love, you know, to connect with my angels or my spirit guides and see what happens. And don't get discouraged if nothing happens right away. You know, there's also guided meditations. There's all kinds of stuff out there. There's one book I would recommend. There's a ton of books out there on connecting with your spirit guides. My favorite, and because it has a lot of different techniques into it, and I'm a big fan of the author, is Ted Andrews' book, How to Meet and Work with Your Spirit Guides. I think that's the name. And then there's also a lot of times what happens when we start doing this, we end up finding ourselves going down the rabbit hole, right? You know, because all of a sudden we're getting references to things that we're not sure about. And so there's different reference books that I would recommend too. I have a couple of them here. You know, if you're having what you think is angelic contact of any type, I happen to think this is a great reference. This is, you know, it's been out there for quite a while, but it's a Dictionary of Angels, including the Fallen Angels, by Gustav Davidson. I think this is a terrific book to have in your library as a reference guide. And then this one too, as you can see, is huge book. This is a great reference. It's by Judica Isles, and it's an encyclopedia of spirits. And you know, because yeah, you know, there's all different types of guides and different contact with the spiritual realm that we can have. And sometimes we find ourselves, you know, trying to Google some weird stuff, right? You know, and trying to Google names that we've heard. It's like, what is that? So anyways, that's a little bit of information. And you know, you can always find me here on the Psychic Talk radio Facebook group. And you can go to my page, psychictalk.net/Mary, and send me an email if you have any specific questions that you'd like some feedback on, or if you want to book a reading, that kind of thing. So let's see here. We have a few minutes left here in the show. We're down to, we have Connor McLean asking me, I have a reading on how this coming week is going to go. Also, this show is awesome. Connor, I have to say, he's a special guy. He's my son. So yeah, okay, how is this coming week going to go? I'll tell you what, Connor, let me just pull an angel card for you on that real quick, and then we'll go to the callers on Blog Talk waiting on the phone line and take a few more of those calls. But let's answer Connor's question really quickly. Well, so, you know, I pulled 3 cards for you. You know, the very first thing that comes up is the Angel of Listening. Again, this is from the Angels of Light deck. You know, so listening is going to be important in the coming week. Paying attention, making sure that you hear what's being said, hearing what's happening, hearing around you. And then this is kind of interesting, is the Angel of Free Flight. Okay, you can see that. So something about this coming week, I feel like, you know, it may have to do with, like, you know, exercising a bit of freedom, you know, feeling like, okay, you know, it's kind of like this. It's like, if what you're doing, if the paradigm that you create isn't working, and you're not making progress, and you're feeling like boxed in any way, you know, and I don't know what all this will have to do with in the coming week potentially for you, but I feel like, you know, this is saying like, okay, there may be a need to just like let things go, loosen up a little bit, exercise that idea of free flight. And then at the end here, where do we get with all of that? It, you know, angel of happiness. It's a great way to end the week. So whatever you go through in the coming week, listening is going to be an important part of it, paying attention to what is being said, and, you know, exercising freedom when you need to. You know, if you start to feel boxed in or like you're having your wings clipped, you need to spread them, right? And shift it that way. And I think, you know, the weekend's on a really good note. So I hope that that's always a good sign, right? So I hope that helps you, Connor, dear. Thank you for the question. And let me go over to the Blog Talk studio here real quick and see who our next caller is. Actually I had a notebook where I was keeping track of like everybody's number, and I just put that aside, and that's really strange. Why did I do that? I think hold on, Blog Talk Radio callers. Oh, I had it upside down. Okay, so our next call is area code 805. Okay, area code 805. Caller, are you there? Hi, Donna from California. How are you today? What did you want to talk about? Okay, so looking for love. So Donna in California, you're calling about, you know, the love life. We see something happen there? Do we see somebody coming in? You want something to go on, you know, good relationship. You say you want to you want to get married at some point, right? Um, let's take a look. Let's take a look and see if we can get an idea. You know, is that coming in for you? And let's just see what comes up. I'm just going to do a quick tarot mini reading on that for you. All right. Wheel of Fortune comes up. Things are going to change for you. Wow. Donna. Donna. We got the, this is great. You know, Wheel of Fortune indicates change, you know, and I always think like, okay, what is it changing towards, you know? Change could be, you know, kind of can go either way. And what I have in the future position with the wheels turning towards is actually the Three of Cups, which is actually kind of a fun card energetically. You know, it's celebrations, happy times. You know, it's also a card of, you know, friendship, right? So look, you know, we have this, things are going to change for the better. We're going to be happier. And then underlying everything, we have the Knight of Cups. And I'll tell you, anytime somebody calls me about a love relationship coming in, that kind of thing, that's a card I want to see. It's one of the cards that I'd really like to see come up, because, you know, that indicates that this is, you know, this is a love connection. It's not just about, you know, good guy on paper. Do you know what I mean? This is somebody who follows their heart. They're letting themselves be guided by love, and they're pursuing a romance, and they want to have fun too with that Three of Cups. The other thing that's really kind of strange about this too is like, okay, you know, you remember we had the Three of Cups, so we have the Knight of Cups, we have the Wheel of Fortune in the center, we also have the King of Cups, and then we also have the King of Swords. So it's like a kind of when it rains, it pours kind of thing with all these people involved. You're looking for one guy. We're getting the Three of Cups saying you're going to be having a great time. And then we get like three guys to come up here. So, you know, I think it's going to be an embarrassment of riches with your love life going on. Probably, you know, look towards the end of the year time frame for these people to start like kind of showing up. And I feel like there's one in particular that it's going to be really just obvious to you, you know, that there's a real connection there, you know. So, you know, you're in for a fun ride is what this looks like to me. Yeah, yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I mean, I would say it's coming soon, and you know, you have choices. You know, I feel like, you know, it's not just like, you know, just the one person showing up. I feel like, you know, you're going to really, you know, have the choice to really, you know, feel that connection with somebody. So, you know, right, blessings to you. This looks great, and you'll have to call in later and let us know what happened. Oh, you too. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Thanks for calling. Oh, all right. Well, we are at the end of the show here. I'm sorry if I did not get to your call today. Again, we have shows, it looks like almost every day this week, starting tomorrow with the Angels Sunday show, with the Angelic Realm show. I used to call Angels Monday. Oh, it's been a long day. Um, but, you know, call in and you can get a reading then. And I want to thank everybody for joining me on Facebook. I wasn't sure how this was going to work, or if anybody would be able to see me or anything. And it seems to have worked well. So this was exciting. This was fun. And we're going to be more testing out different ways to simulcast on the Psychic Talk radio show. Oh, I see more people. David Brown. That's my brother-in-law. Hi, David. Thanks for tuning in. That's so cool of him to do that. And thanks to everybody who tuned in. And thank you for your questions in the comments thread on the live feed as well. And I want to thank you all and wish you all a great weekend. And I'll see you next Saturday. Maybe I'll see you. I don't know. You can at least call in to the Psychic Saturday show. Bye-bye, everybody.